as pressures and margins squeeze in organisations, the stuff which is deemed nice to have just floats off to the side again. And that can't be the case for the long term, particularly for some of these very big investments like pensions with very long liabilities. With the terminology of responsible investing, particularly the ESG mantle under scrutiny, what role do you see for capital markets as this evolution happens?
It couldn't be more fundamental, because if you sort of believe my argument, or you buy my argument that we need to move to a path of an orderly transition, and ultimately the destination of that orderly transition is a thriving economy, but an economy that thrives within the boundaries, then there are radical changes that need to take place. Effectively, we need to rethink fundamental systems, the energy system, the transportation system, for instance. We need to think about the food and the food production system. All of those systems need to be rethought. We're talking about effectively a new industrial revolution, a new underlying infrastructure to support a new industrial revolution. How are we going to do all of those things without financial markets? How are we going to do all of those things without the ability of companies to scale up those solutions? And what is quite critical is that at this point, we have, of course, decades, hundreds of years actually, of capital markets, right? And we know something about capital flows and doing so quickly, efficiently, and so on and so forth, and taking into account all available information. But that's precisely what we need, because the solutions to the problems that we're facing cannot wait. In other words, we need quick, rapid, efficient scaling up. And I think that's, in the time that we live in the time of intangibles as opposed to tangible assets, that's exactly why capital markets can play a crucial role.